Welcome back everybody, my name is Dave Miller and I'm the Wall Street Trainer. And in today's video we're going to talk about how to get rid of muscle soreness. Muscle soreness is one of those things that can be quite honestly debilitating. I've definitely had times when I couldn't walk for like a week after doing a leg workout. And it's really inconvenient if you got to go to like a dance, you got to go to a meeting, or it simply hurts. So how do we get rid of this? How do we get rid of muscle soreness? So one of the best ways is to keep moving. It might not be the best thing to feel, but in the end, what it's going to do is improve your circulation. You're going to get more nutrients, more oxygen to the tissue. You're going to be elongating it so it's not going to get stiff. A lot of times when a muscle goes through a range of motion that it's not used to, that can be quite painful. It's pushing on nerves and that kind of thing. So even though you might be used to a longer or wider range of motion, when you're sore, you're not moving as much, and so those nerves aren't moving as much either. So going through that range of motion, moving, is going to be one of the best ways to improve that. Now that doesn't have to mean you go for like a sprint or you have to go do another workout. It could be as simple as walking your dog, taking a hike, having fun in the swimming pool during the summertime, or if it's warm year-round wherever you are. So the big thing is that you're keeping that body in motion. A body in motion will continue to stay in motion. Other things that you can do are foam rolling. Again, not the most pleasant experience when you're sore, but what you feel afterwards is so much better than if you had continued not to move. And your recovery time is going to be that much more expedited than if you had just been sedentary or said, I'm going to stay on the couch and wait till things get better. Again, always moving, and in this case, what that is going to do is going to improve the myofibrils by making sure that the actin myosin filaments are in a good alignment, and that is going to allow for proper recovery and what are called adhesions. So essentially, if we don't heal properly, which often isn't the case at a microscopic level, we kind of get these little bumps. So I always tell people it's kind of like pizza dough. You get these bumps in the muscle tissue as it recovers. It just simply doesn't come back in that nice straight uniform line, right? It kind of comes back maybe a little bumps and clumps here and there. Well, foam rolling helps to negate and kind of smooth out, much like you would roll pizza dough or bread or whatever, and to put that back into that nice kind of uniform layer that our muscle tissue is made of. So muscle tissue is just stacked and stacked, making up those large muscle fibers, right? And so having that myofascial release is going to be a great way to do it. The other thing is that myo, meaning muscle, and fascial, meaning the fascia of the muscle. The fascia is kind of like, if you picture a balloon, kind of like that skin or that exterior of the balloon is kind of what's around the muscle. If you open a chicken breast or something like that, it's kind of that like clear layer that goes across the outside of the muscle. And that can actually get quite stiff as well and not really allow for the muscle and the nerves surrounding it to expand. And so by going over that, that will loosen it up and that will improve your movement and circulation as well. So some other things you can do, make sure you're hydrated. Hydration is going to allow you to get more nutrients there. It's going to expedite, kind of make the flow a little bit easier of the nutrients, the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, your protein, your carbohydrates, your fats, all that great stuff will get to it that much easier if the body is hydrated. Now, that's just kind of the superficial level. What is at a deeper levels and much more important is it's going to take out those waste products, those aspects that are really kind of bogging us down, if you would. Picture the increase of hydration more so as a clearing of rather than bringing nutrients to. You're definitely going to get that increased nutrient flow, but it's going to more so have a greater benefit by taking out all those waste products. So that's one of the big benefits of hydration. Some other things you can do are rest. It's so simple, but it needs to be hit upon. So making sure you're getting adequate rest, 7-8 hours of sleep. If you're training really hard, you might need 9. You might say, okay, well, legs, I'm always so sore. I'm gonna do 7-8 hours of sleep on Friday night, Saturday, I'm going to take a nap in the afternoon for about an hour, just because your body needs that much recovery. So it kind of delves into getting better sleep. Check out some of my other videos here. Definitely have one on sleep and how to improve on that. But having greater sleep is definitely going to do it for you. That's going to make a huge difference compared to somebody who is not getting adequate amount of sleep. So the other flip side, if you're out on Friday night, maybe not stay out too late at the party and that kind of thing. Some other things that you can do are making sure you're getting adequate amounts of protein. You broke down the body. You don't get stronger in the gym, you get stronger after you have gone to the gym, given the body that stimulus and recovery. And that recovery needs building blocks. You can't build a house without the materials. Even if all the workers are present, even if everybody's ready to go and things are good, you need the building materials, you need the raw materials. In this case for the body, it's going to be those amino acids. Now if you're a vegan, a vegetarian, that's cool, but you need to make sure you're getting a sufficient amount of those essential amino acids, which are part of a complete protein, such as an animal protein. So as long as you can either do a food combination that's going to allow you to get all of those amino acids, then you're good to go. If you can get all those amino acids, you're good to go. So the other aspect is making sure you get enough. Now, maybe you have all the amino acids, but maybe you only have 10 grams worth when you put everything together. That's not going to be enough. The minimum that you guys need is about 30 grams. Where does the 30 grams come from? You need about 3 grams of leucine. Now, this really doesn't extend too much further depending on size. Personally, I'm about 200 pounds, so I always try and get about 4 to 5 and or 40 to 50 grams of protein, 4 to 5 grams of leucine, right? Leucine is important because that is what turns on what's called muscle protein stimulus, muscle protein synthesis. When you have muscle protein synthesis, your body is synthesizing protein, right? It's creating new proteins, it's repairing muscle tissue, it's making new skin, it's doing everything, and making new hairs, it's doing everything that it should be doing, and it needs to have a certain stimulus before that is enacted. And the main thing that's going to enact that, the main thing that's going to turn it on, is that leucine amount. And again, the minimum threshold is about 3 grams for the average person. Depending on your size, it could be a little bit higher, but it's really not that much. Can you have 70 grams of protein? Can you have 100 grams of protein? Sure. Your body is going to try and make as much use of it as it can. Now the question is that optimal? And the answer is no. That's more so for another video. Check those out as well. So what are the other things that can really improve our recovery and decrease our soreness? Is going to be actually having enough calories. So maybe you have enough protein, but if you're not getting enough carbohydrates, you're not getting enough fats, your body is going to be in a negative energy balance, and its main priority is not going to be to build, but to make sure that you have adequate amount of energy, of calories being used for more of your necessary things like organ function and making sure you get waste products out and that kind of thing, rather than building up muscle tissue. So to have better recovery, you need to have at least an equal balance of calories depending on your demand that you have. An easy way to go about this is to take 15 calories per pound of body weight. That's usually about the average maintenance level for a person. Now, if you're very active, if you had an extremely hard workout, maybe you're a CrossFitter, maybe you're somebody who's a collegiate athlete, maybe you're in the military, they're going to elicit a greater caloric demand on the body. So you need to have that higher amount of calorie intake to help that overall holistic recovery of the body. Now, once you have those calories in place, you want to make sure you're getting them from the right ratio. Sure, you can go ketogenic. Sure, you can go high carb, low fat. At the end of the day, the body just wants the energy. Now, there is more support in science of having higher glycogen. And having said that, over time, again, if you're a ketogenic person, that demand, what your body will use, is going to be less than if you were doing going to be less carbohydrates as if you were someone who is normally having carbs. Basically, your body adjusts to using less carbohydrates. Fats also have their place as well. There's a lot of antioxidants, there's a lot of healing aspects. That's why there's so many of those like facial creams and other things that you put on your skin, because it has a healing aspect, has an antioxidant aspect. Having those vitamins in there that you can also get from your fats, such as avocados, such as olive oils, vitamin E and vitamin K, those kind of things are really going to help the body to get that healing as well. Some other things that you can do, and these are not as traditional, some things that you can try every now and then, I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, is a gouache treatment. So it's essentially a scraping technique where you actually have a micro bursting or a micro trauma to the capillaries. So there is a little bit of bruising. There actually can be quite a bit of bruising. And on a surface level, that looks pretty bad. But what it also does is it breaks up any deep scar tissue, and it also allows for the body to kind of have more of a healing effect, because it's having an acute response to kind of a localized injury, because there is that micro trauma at cellular level. So the body ramps up everything to increase that. So some other things you can do is add heat. So things like a sauna, things like a heating pad, even a hot tub, a jacuzzi kind of thing, is really going to help as well, because that's going to stimulate blood flow, kind of coming back to what we talked about in the beginning. So having those factors in there are really going to help to reduce soreness. Some other things you can do is include a multivitamin. Currently the one that I recommend is by Legion. It's specifically made for people who are active. If you're active, if you're doing intense weight training, if you're doing long distance running, if you're doing a combination of both. Basically, if you're athletic, you're going to have higher demands than somebody who is not as athletic. I would say that both people need vitamins. Now there's some arguments out there that vitamins really don't do a whole lot, that maybe sometimes they just pass through, and depending on the vitamin there is some truth to that. However, depending on the kind of vitamin you take, you can really get a good effect from it. So the one that I'm recommending is a capsule, right? And so there's very minimal digestion to it and a great amount of surface area for those vitamins. I always recommend to take it with a meal. That way you're getting that natural churning of the stomach and the absorption that comes with it. Spread it out throughout the day, don't have it all at once. And that is really going to maximize the amount of nutrients that you can get in your body. If you want to take it another level, if you got it in your pocketbook, go and get a vitamin mineral infusion via IV. Also, electrolytes are going to be a big factor, so your magnesium, your calcium, your potassium, and your sodium are really going to make a big difference as well. So these are a lot of the factors that are going to greatly improve your rate of reducing soreness. So one of the other things you can do is meditation. Overall reduction of stress is really what we're going for. So anything like headspace, anything like just going out somewhere where it's nice and quiet, anything that is going to help you to relax, to calm down, to improve the function of your parasympathetic nervous system, to reduce that sympathetic, so reducing your fight or flight and increasing your rest and digest. So deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You may even do something like box breathing, where it's 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 4 seconds out, 4 second hold. And repeating that for as long as you want to meditate. I wouldn't say to go for a crazy amount of time. Even 10 minutes will have a significant effect on reducing those amounts of stress. If anything, I would say go for less time, more often and more frequently, rather than one big round. It's much like weight training. You could work out as hard as you could for 3 hours one day, but you're not going to get the same amount of benefits as if you had gone 5 days a week for a half hour, right? It's going to be more the frequency, the consistency, rather than having that big turnout, right? A final thing that you can do is really try and reduce the amount of toxins or any kind of added stress that your body is going to be having. We talked about mental stress, but what about the physiological stresses? So things like filtering your water, things like having good air quality, things like making sure your food is well cooked, so your body doesn't have to fight off any kind of bacteria because the food is undercooked. It doesn't have to process any extra chemicals, any extra fluoride, any extra chlorine that's in the water. It doesn't have to try and filter out any dust or pollen or whatever, because you have a good clean air quality in your home or hopefully wherever you live. One of the other benefits that's really going to help is simply sunlight. Getting enough sunlight is really going to help to improve your mitochondrial efficiency. This is going to help essentially improve that cell, whatever cell it is, whether it's your skin cell, your muscle cell. The entire body is affected by sunlight. And when that mitochondria is working more efficiently, those cells are going to work more efficiently. Your skin is going to be able to heal better. It's going to be more resilient. Your muscle tissue is going to heal faster. It's going to connect in a more uniform way. Everything is improved simply by sunlight. We're like big plants, guys. Make sure you get enough sunlight. There's so much data out there. There's so much emerging data that is supporting exposure to sunlight. Now, don't go out and take a vitamin D supplement, because it's not the same. You're not going to get the same effect. Will it help? To an extent, yes, but it's not going to be nearly as good as going out and getting sunlight. One thing that I always recommend to people is the application called D-Minder. It's a free app, and it tells you when the sun intensity is at the highest. Don't put the sunblock on, because you're just putting toxins on your skin. Really, the one thing you want to watch out for is that you're not getting overexposure of sunlight. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing in this case. So don't get burned. Don't try and get that much sunlight. Get whatever your body is used to. If you haven't been out in the sun for a while, then maybe start off with just 10 minutes, and then the next day 15 minutes, and then 20, and build up from there. Or if you're really sensitive, maybe it's 10 minutes the first week, and then it's 15 minutes the second week, and you build up from there. So take it nice and slow so that your body can adapt to it, and it will naturally have a defense against any kind of harmful UV radiation, and you will get the benefits that come with the sunlight and none of the negatives. So that's another benefit that people really don't talk about nowadays. We take for granted, and it doesn't really pass our minds, but it is a huge benefit for us. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe for more fitness, nutrition, health hacks, and if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. And if you just want to put your 2 cents in, go ahead and comment below as well. You can always reach me at wallstreettrainer.com. You can email me at wallstreettrainer@gmail.com. And if you guys ever want to do any online training, I'm available. Just send a quick email and or fill out the survey on the website. Happy to help. We have a personalized training application, includes nutrition, custom workouts. We go in, there's the option to message within the app, there's video demonstrations of the exercises, and I'm there with you every step of the way to make sure that you're getting constant progression, we're avoiding injuries, and that you're maximizing the results for the time that you invest. So check that out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and invest in yourself. It's Dave Miller, out.